Welcome to another episode of KTM Summer Grill. For your KTM needs, head to ktm.com. Today I'm joined by Speed Cafe editor Connor O'Brien to talk about the 2021 IndyCar season. And we're lucky to be joined by Rookie of the Year, Scott McLaughlin. Welcome, Scott.
G'day guys, thanks for having me.
Scott, run us through your year. It's been an incredible 2021 from, leaving Australia off the back of 3 Supercars titles, moving all the way to America with your partner, joining Team Penske, new car, new circuits. As far as experiences go, it must have been an absolute whirlwind year for you.
Yeah, look, absolutely. It's been a whirlwind year from when we left Bathurst in 2020 to racing the St. Pete race, and then that whole preparation in the off season of 2020 for the 2021 season. And I feel like we prepared really well. I felt really strong in the car, and felt really ready for my first season in IndyCar. But at the end of the day, experience is huge, and I had to learn a ton in a short amount of time. I think I felt stronger on ovals because I had more to learn and I had less bad habits. So it was a case of, I hadn't had I didn't have a preconceived idea of what, kind of like the road courses were. Like I had so many bad habits from the supercar days, that I was trying to, get rid of at the IndyCar. But on the ovals, it was just like a clean sheet of paper and I could learn from the get-go. So look, our goal was to win Rookie of the Year. Our goal was to win Rookie of the Year Indy 500. We did that. We got a podium. We led some laps. Ideally, we would have loved to have been a little bit more competitive in the mid-season, but we have figured out a few things that didn't quite go our way in terms of, strategy. Also, the way that I had the car set up. But we got on top of that the last few races, and I felt we had a really strong end to the season, which really helped my confidence for 2022.
You earned yourself a couple of cool titles as well. Obviously, Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500 and Rookie of the Year for the series. As far as I'm aware, I don't think any Team Penske driver has ever done that before. So that's a pretty cool accolade to have on your belt in your first year.
Yeah, it just, look, Team Penske don't hire rookies. I'm in a very lucky situation, and the patience and the help that the team have shown me to be, knowing that this is going to take time. It's a long-term plan for them to make sure that, I'm going to eventually be hopefully where Joseph is or Will is, more often than not. But look, it's I feel like I'm on the right path at the moment. I feel like we're thereabouts, and our learning trajectory is in the right position. So we're just going to keep pushing on.
Obviously, we're all really excited to see what year 2 looks like, especially every time you went back to a circuit that you'd sort of been to before. Obviously, you could somewhat tell, you weren't learning the circuit as much, and obviously that allowed you to really get straight on the pace. What's possible in 2022? Do you have goals in mind? I know, tell us what do you reckon 2022 can look like?
Yeah, it's look, for me, going to every track now. Basically, the only track I haven't been to is Iowa, which we'll test there before. But all the other tracks obviously I have been to. It's going to be awesome to go to St. Pete, that I've been to now twice. So feeling pretty strong going there. I can't, for me, I would love to be, solidly in the top 10, more often than not, with pushing the top 5, top 3 throughout next year. We need to find some speed overall as a team. And we're working pretty hard to sort that because, IndyCar has got so competitive of late. But personally, gives me a lot of confidence heading to tracks that, like I said, I've been to before, and I can sort of hit the ground running with car setup and knowing what each track's like to race and to qualify at. It's going to be really important for me.
And I mean, you guys all look like the Team Penske drivers all look like you got along so well. You and Will Power in particular. Will's a character. I mean, tell us about that relationship. Apart from, of course, when he ran into you at Nashville, but of course, but it looked like you guys had a really good thing going on.
Yeah, look, everyone, including Simon, who obviously isn't with us, we got along really, really well, throughout the season. We were, they were an open book to me. Obviously some things they didn't quite give me in terms of feedback. I'm sure they held some stuff back, but that's just competitive rivalries. But for the most part, they were really helpful and really helped me get up to speed. And each time I had a good result, they were one of the first ones to congratulate me. So yeah, there's a big camaraderie there, and it's always been like that in Team Penske, and that's sort of drummed into us as drivers and to all the employees all the way down. It's a great team to be a part of. It's a massive, well-oiled machine. Coming here and seeing how big it is, 500 odd employees in NASCAR, IndyCar, and now sports car. It's pretty crazy to be a part of, but certainly having a strong driver group that gets along well is a core part of making sure the team runs smoothly.
Obviously, when you were racing down under in Supercars, you sort of got a little bit of a taste of sort of the inner workings of Team Penske, obviously with that relationship with DJR. Do you feel like, that sort of interlink between those teams has prepared you well for when you've joined, I suppose, the de facto factory team, Team Penske, when you made the move over to the USA?
Yeah, look, I think absolutely. I understood how the team works and how important we treat our partners, our supporters, everyone that helps us go racing, and the way that you've got to present yourself as well in certain times and especially at the racetrack. But look, I don't think much prepares you for how big it really is. It's I've come from a team that was sort of 55 people on the floor, and I knew everyone's name pretty easy. Obviously, I knew everyone's name. Where I come here, it's sort of I think I know the guy's name, or I might see the person maybe once or twice every couple of months. It's there's a different people all the time. It's like you go to the supermarket, you randomly see people that you've seen, but you don't exactly know who they are. So it's tough in terms of just feeling initially quite comfortable, but look, at the end of the day, everyone gets it that it's a big company and they welcome you in with open arms and will let you help you wherever you can go, and it's a pretty cool thing. But I think I guess as a professional, having those 4 years driving for DJR and the Team Penske alignment certainly helped me get prepared for what was going to be sort of the big daddy of all things over here in USA.
And Scott, I mean, obviously, been IndyCar's your life now, but I gather, you still were keeping an eye on the Supercars side of things. And certainly I know, speaking to Anton, he said that, you guys were in touch a fair bit. But I mean, I guess Supercars is still something close to your heart, and you kind of kept an eye on it still?
Oh, absolutely. It's very hard to drop something that the whole life you worked to be in and watched your whole life since I was in New Zealand, and when I came here, it was a little bit harder to follow because of the time differences and stuff. So some of the races I was racing on, so I never saw it, but I just caught up on the highlights, always kept in check. Watched all of Bathurst. Thought it was a pretty crazy race, especially towards the end. And like I said, it's very hard to drop something that you've worked in your whole life. And I'm happy where I am. I'm very proud of what I did in Supercars, but it's new opportunities for me and trying to pursue new things in my career and really enjoying doing that.
At the time of filming this, obviously Supercars has just wrapped up. IndyCar's been done for a wee while now. You've got quite a bit of a layoff until the season restarts again in 2022. What have you got on your radar over the break to keep yourself busy?
Look, I'm heading overseas for Christmas. Me and Carly just getting a bit of R&R just before it gets pretty crazy again. And then January, February's obviously pretty nuts. Just getting ready for the season with simulator testing and testing itself. But we should be able to be able to hit the ground running pretty early. I think our first test days, first weekend of February, and we'll just go through certain things. I'll have a new engineering, team with me, and I'll have to get used to them as well. But that should happen pretty easily, and we'll be okay.
And Scott, look, I have to ask, Porsche, Penske Motorsport, is there any opportunities that could potentially come your way with that collaboration, which is obviously a massive thing in world motorsport in the endurance scene? I know, again, IndyCar is your bread and butter, but is that something that you'd hopefully do something with at some point?
Yeah, who knows? I think it's awesome to see Porsche and Penske partner. I think have a partnership and and see what goes on. Obviously, Dane Cameron and Philippe Nasser have just been announced as drivers for them. It's pretty exciting for the team, and I think everyone's pretty pumped with the sports car relationship again. But yeah, who knows? I'd love to do all those big races that we've all talked about: Daytona 24 hour, the Le Mans 24 hour. It's a pretty exciting time for us at Team Penske. But yeah, we'll see. I've got a few things on my mind already with the IndyCar, and then maybe if I can win or get a podium here or there, maybe I'll have a bit more of a leg to stand on to ask for a driver and another thing. But we'll see.
Awesome, Scott. One last question for me. This 2021 campaign was a breakout year for you. You had that really great result at Texas Motor Speedway. You had, a chance at potentially a really strong finish at Indianapolis and the 500. 2022, what's the target? Do you think getting your first IndyCar win is something that's just in reach?
Yeah, I think it's just in reach. I think if everything goes our way and we do the right things, I think we've got the pace potentially to do it. For me, the first thing I need to do in plan of attack is qualify better. I think we need to give ourselves a bit more of a chance. I think our race pace is right there. If I'm put in a certain spot, I think I can hold my own up the front. But at the same time, I've got to make sure I can make it easier for myself to get there rather than qualifying 15th or 16th. But Indianapolis, I'm very excited for. I think we've got to, I understand that race a lot more. It's just, I'm excited for that. I think we've got a really good chance there. And I think as a race win, if everything goes our way, I'd love to take the opportunity. If not, I think we can really push for plenty of top fives and a solid top 10 finish in the championship come the end of the year.
Yeah, certainly an exciting season ahead for Scott McLaughlin, and really appreciate you coming on the show and chatting with us, Scott.
No worries, boys. Thanks for having me.
Well, that was Scott McLaughlin, 2021 Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year and IndyCar Series Rookie of the Year. And I think, 2022 is shaping up to be a really fascinating year for Scott. I feel like with the change in how they've sort of set up that organization, obviously Simon Pagenaud stepping away, theoretically it should be a more concentrated effort on him alongside Will Power and Joseph Newgarden, you would have thought, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's sort of been the Penske way, isn't it? To be more 3 than 4. Obviously they made it 4 to accommodate Scott. Now Simon Pagenaud off to Meyer Shank Racing to team up with his old buddy Helio, which that'll be interesting there. But I think Scott did a really, really good job in that first year. It's all you have to do is look at Jimmy Johnson, who had a pretty tough time with it. A guy that's incredibly talented, one of the best ever in America in the NASCAR scene. So it's I think Scott did a really good job, and I know that he's got that competitive itch that he's not going to be okay of just running around in P11 or P9. I think it'll be really exciting to see how that plays out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Scott makes no bones about the fact that he wants to be winning, and I think that's a really positive thing. Because you've got to have that hunger to win, and he's got everything that he needs to do it, and a lot of it just comes down to him and his engineers. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's just have a quick chat about the season that's just gone, though. For me, I must say Alex Palou, as the champion, just did basically the perfect job. Yeah, in the same team as Scott Dixon and beat him, he out-Dixoned Dixon, basically. He was just so consistent, even when things didn't go well. And he kind of lost the lead there towards the back end. Through no fault of his own, a couple of things. I think it was Rinus VeeKay got into both Dixon and Palou at St. Louis, Gateway. But he was phenomenal. Really, really exciting. I think first Spaniard to ever win the IndyCar Series. He's only very young. It was his second full-time season. I'll tell you what, those Dale Coyne racing blokes know how to pick one. They had Palou come through. Grosjean this year, who's now off to Andretti Autosport. Yep. So it must be a bit of sweet for DCR. Well. Alex did a tremendous job, and I don't think anyone could say he didn't deserve that title. Yeah, 100%. I guess the guy who's sort of
whilst he finished second, he sort of flew under the radar a little bit. Was Joseph Newgarden. He sort of had a good season, but not a great season. Would you say?
Well, I mean, actually, Team Penske itself, it was a pretty bizarre year because I think they went on a very unusually long stretch of not winning races, and that came where like they could have probably won 4 races or something like that in that period, and Joseph was mega quick. But yeah, the whole season just never quite fully came together for any of the Penske guys. But I mean, yeah, Joseph, the fact that he finished second in probably not their best year just shows how good he is. And so, yeah, every year you go in, Joseph is one of the absolute favourites, and I assume he'll be right in the hunt again in 2022.
Yeah, and I guess to an extent that sort of makes McLaughlin's achievements even that little bit more impressive because, yeah, by and large, I remember we were having chats through the season just going, where's Team Penske and all this? They were just not on the pace. And yeah, Will Power had his worst season since 2008, which was his first year in IndyCar, known as IndyCar at that point in time. And for a good period of time, Scott was like just behind Will in the Drivers' Championship. So you would hope 2022 is a year where they'll bounce back. They seem to they're either right on it or not.
Yeah. And Will's arguably the greatest ever IndyCar qualifier, isn't he? So quick. But yeah, just didn't quite come together on a number of occasions. And actually at the Indianapolis 500, he had to, he almost missed the cut altogether. Like he had to go into the last chance, which was shocking.
Hit the wall
just a massive surprise. Will, he's in his early 40s, but he is a great character. He's extremely quick, and I've got no doubt. I've no doubt he's going to win a race in 2022, and he just has to do it consistently to be up there.
Yeah, it's extraordinary to think the longevity of some of these guys in that series, considering there's no power steering on these things. You're still muscling these cars around, so you have to be incredibly fit to drive one of those cars. I do want to touch on Pato O'Ward. I know he's one of your favourite IndyCar drivers. He's certainly got a lot of personality. Probably unlucky to come third in the end. Obviously, he was, it was largely between him and Palou for the title, and then obviously got taken out. I think it was on the first lap of the season finale on Long Beach. So
yeah, I think it's Ed Jones there.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think Pato had a great year. He's now twice absolutely killed it for McLaren SP. Absolutely demolished his teammates. I think it was Oliver Askew in 2020 and then Felix Rosenqvist in 2021. Pato, really consistent. Again, it's similar mold to, this is something really exciting about IndyCar, is you've got a fantastic old guard full of guys that have raced in Formula One and won IndyCar series and Indy 500s. And then you've got this young guard, young brigade coming through, those guys. Rinus VeeKay was really quick, especially the first half of the year until I think he had an injury and that sort of set him back. And you've got a few guys, I'm sure I've forgotten someone there, but yeah, it's a really intriguing mix. And Pato, of course, there's a little bit of talk just could he end up in an F1 seat eventually? I think that'd be super exciting, but I think he's got a point to prove first in IndyCar, and together with McLaren SP, again, I would think that will be absolutely a contender for 2022.
For sure. I think that name that you're forgetting there is Colton Herta. And I think next year, I think he's the favourite for the title. As long as he gets those, blemishes out of the results, he's the guy to win because he was so fast all of last year. But he was just, I guess, one way or another, he was either P1 or P nowhere. And I think if he can take out some of those little mistakes and maybe the qualifying areas, he'll be right up there and contending for the championship.
I kind of see him a bit like an Anton De Pasquale, very quick. Anton, I can probably consider to be the quickest driver in Supercars. Colton, you'd have to probably think, is probably overtaken Will Power for that right now. No doubt Colton is, super quick and is good enough to win it. But is he and is Andretti Autosport consistent enough to churn out the results week in, week out? We'll see. Nashville was the perfect case of Colton Herta to a T. I thought he was just outstanding. He was so much half a second plus quicker than anyone every lap. but then he crashed out in sort of about, I think, 10 laps to go or something like that, and you're just kind of like banging your head against the, like if he works it out, he's going to be extremely hard to stop.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot we could talk about. I think Andretti's are going to be probably one of the stronger teams. Alexander Rossi, and obviously, as you mentioned, Roman Grosjean joining that team. You know, Mai Shank racing with Elio Castroneves and Simon Pagenaud. That's another incredible lineup. You know, Chip Ganassi racing. You know, Scott Dixon, Jimmy Johnson. Obviously, Johnson's going to do the full season, which will no doubt help him. I'm not sure he's necessarily going to be right up the front there, but it'll be good to see him do a full campaign.
Yeah, and they've got Marcus Ericsson too, who was a long time in Formula One, sort of fairly middling. He was really impressive in 2021. He was great. And then Pelot obviously in that mix, so they're very strong. Yeah, you got Penske's. The Rahal cars are inevitably quite quick. Graham Rahal is always up there. Again, I think, probably struggles a bit in qualifying, but super quick in the races. And there's a couple of new guys, like Kyle Kirkwood coming in. Like 5 rookies, I think, thus far have been confirmed, which is really exciting. Christian Lundgaard and Callum Eilert. And it's the driver field there is just phenomenal. It really is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure we could keep talking about this all afternoon,
Absolutely,
but we're gonna wrap this up. That's been another episode of KTM Summer Grill. Stay tuned to speedcafe.com for another episode tomorrow. As part of this year's KTM Summer Grill, each week KTM is giving away the perfect summer beach pack, which includes an umbrella, cap, gym bag, and key holder. To enter the draw, head to speedcafe.com or hit the link in the description below.